Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the problem with being too spiritual. So as you guys are aware of, if you've been following this channel for a while, I used to post quite a bit of videos about the ego, meditation, and just, spiritual philosophy, Hinduism, Taoism, whatever. And that was all cool. That was great. It's great to adopt philosophies that are resourceful in life. It's good to adopt techniques and try new things, meditative practices, breath work, and things of that nature. However, I've looked at the age demographic of this channel, and most of you guys are 18 to 24. So between the ages of 18 and 24, right? A lot of you guys want to be financially free. You want to be wealthy. You want to be, muscular in shape, etc. Right? All of which are practical things, right? They're not very spiritual. However, you guys look at individuals and gurus like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, the Dalai Lama, Sadhguru, Ken Wilber, whoever else. And what you notice about all of these gurus is that they're all like in their 60s and 70s. They're old folks. And I'm not saying you can't be young and be focused on meditation and spirituality, but there comes a point where, if you desire financial freedom, if you desire, nice things like a house, a family, and, you want to achieve those things, it's not very resourceful to focus on non-duality, read spiritual texts. I'm not saying you can't do it at all, but it can't be the primary focus of your life. It can't be in the forefront. You have to have practical means as the forefront. So as an example, right now I'm trying to move out within the next year to 2 years. The next year, maybe 2 years, whatever. Am I going to do that by sitting at home reading spiritual texts and meditating and chanting or doing any breath work? No, that's because that's the goal of those practices isn't to get me more money or a house or an apartment. The goal of those is to heighten my consciousness, right? So that's not going to get me anywhere, right? What's going to get me there is working on, saving money, investing, working on a business, right? That's going to get me there. So, and all of those things are practical, right? They're not very spiritual. And so I think it's kind of funny too. I'll add this, that there's people that say, oh, spiritual people are poor, spiritual people aren't rich. That's bullshit, guys, because here's the thing. Explain to me how is being poor spiritual, right? Because the ego, right? If you're familiar with what's his name, Abraham Maslow, he has the hierarchy of needs, right? So if you're always thinking about money and if you're always worried about your next paycheck, or you can't afford the bills, or whatever, if you're always just thinking about money, worrying about money, how can you ascend to the next level and develop yourself spiritually? How? Right? So that's why I think it's funny when you hear people that say, oh, you can just be poor and be spiritual. God doesn't want you to be rich. Bullshit. That is bullshit, right? Because if you're rich, right, and you have financial freedom, you have the freedom to develop yourself spiritually, right? Does that make sense? You have the freedom to meditate for 4 hours a day, to fast all day, to attend workshops, or just whatever, right? Go on retreats. You have the time to do these things. So when I hear people say that rich people or poor people or rich people can't be spiritual, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. The only reason people say that is because you don't see a lot of rich people that are like that. That's the only reason, right? Like, there's not a lot of millionaires that are into spirituality. They're just not. There isn't. They're not into fasting. They're into making more money, right? They're into business. But when you are young, right? 18 to 24, you can still do those things. You can still meditate. You can still contemplate and fast and do all these things. I still do those from time to time. I still fast. I still do like the Wim Hof method. I still read spiritual texts from here and there, like the Bible. But that's not the primary focus of my life. Right now, mainly I'm working, I'm in the gym, and I'm making content. That's really what my focus is. If you asked me 2 years ago, what was I doing? I was basically just trying to, detox, meditate, and do all those things that I was talking about earlier. But like I said, if my goal is to move out and develop financial freedom, those things aren't going to help me in that regard. I'm not saying I can't do them for other reasons, like heightened consciousness and more awareness, but they're not the tool. Like, I'm not going to use a hammer to fucking like make a cheese, or I don't know. Like, I'm not going to use a hammer to like, I don't know, like fucking fold paper. I'm going to use my hands to do that. You know what I mean? So in the same way, that's kind of a bad analogy. But anyways, you guys get the point. In the same way, I'm not going to meditate so I can like move out. That goal, that tool is not congruent with where I want to go. You get what I'm saying? So I think that, and this is my opinion, right? You don't have to agree with me, but I think that young men between like 18 and 40, maybe 35 if you're very like well developed, I don't think we should be focused too much on like spirituality all the time. I think it's important that we focus on material things. That sounds weird, right? That sounds, oh, what the fuck? No, it's important that you develop yourself in that regard, right? Because as you ascend, as you grow out of those things, then you can become more focused on spiritual things, right? Maybe one sec. Anyways, yeah, like, you guys get what I'm saying? So you can focus more on the spiritual component of life after you've developed yourself in regards to, of achieving material desires, right? In terms of achieving success, as most people would say, right? Now, do you want to just pursue success till you're like 90? Probably not. You're going to end up someone like Warren Buffett, right? Who's just, he has plenty of resources. He's rich. He's a multi-billionaire, but he doesn't get it spiritually. He just wants more and more money, right? And he's 90 years old. That must be getting pretty damn old. Doing the same thing for that long, it must be getting pretty stale. But yeah, I think at a young age, it's not very practical to just focus all of your energy on being spiritual, right? And here, let me take it from like a scientific perspective too. Younger men have more testosterone than older men, right? So you got to figure it this way. When you're older and you're 60 or 70, your testosterone's lower, so you're probably just not going to want to achieve as much, right? You're older, you don't look as good, and you just probably aren't too concerned with that. Most people, right? But when you're young, 18, 20s, 30s, you have high testosterone, you have a lot of energy, so it's good to direct that in terms of like achieving financial success, relationships, developing relationships, health, getting in shape, working out, right? So I don't think it's a good idea for us, especially you guys who are, younger, to just primarily focus on developing yourself spiritually. I think it can be a good thing to do on the side, but I think most of our time should be devoted to, success, building muscle, getting in shape, getting money, right? I'm not saying like you gotta be like greedy or prideful or just, no, I'm saying as practical means, right? Because no one wants to work. It's going to be very hard for you to develop yourself spiritually if you're working 60 hours at a job, right? You're not going to have time to do those sorts of things. So that's why financial independence is very important, right? So I think you guys get the point here. Yeah, I think you guys get it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, anything, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.